So we can say right now, protection against HG toxicity. Rats injected subcutaneously with multiple levels of lethal mercury chloride could be recovered by a similar injection of NBMI and a DMSO phosphate buffer. We're going to talk to you about endothelial cell and epithelial cells treated with mercury, methylmercury, and thimerosal, or ethyl mercury, could be recovered by NBMI. This is research that was done in Dr. Parinotti's work at Ohio State University Medical Center. And anecdotally, toxic cats, a heron, an eagle, with 950 micrograms of mercury per liter of blood have shown recover after treatment with NBMI. This last one is probably going to help us the most. You know, eagles don't suffer from placebo effect. You can't convince an eagle you're his friend. And this is done in Sweden, and it's going to make TV news. What you have are feeding stations. The Swedes take care of their predator birds, and they have places where they put out food for the eagles during the tough time of the year when they can't eat. And of course, the eagles that get there that are somewhat sick stay there. And they found this eagle lying frozen to the feeding station where he was eating, and in all appearances looked almost like he was dead. They picked him up and they took him to this vet center where they tried to salvage such eagles. They're not very successful at this. Anyway, the first thing they did after warming him up was to put a fish with 100 milligrams of NBMI inside the little fish and fed it to him, stuck it down his throat. And then the 100 milligrams on day 1, and then for the next 4 days gave him 50 milligrams in the same process. And at the end of 5 days, the eagle was setting up and eating on his own. And they just left him there and fed him every day. And 10 days after the last NBMI treatment, he flew up on a 24-foot high perch. And he's been doing that ever since. So we're hoping we can get a film of him flying away into the freedom again. But, you know, this tells you something about the compound. I mean, 950 micrograms per kilogram, per liter of blood is a lot of mercury. And this eagle doesn't know NBMI from a hole in the ground. He doesn't. The only thing that saves him is if it works. And so we're trying now to get this started in the United States. And if you know of anybody that's trying to save animals toxic with mercury, tell them to give us a call. It's a good place to test this stuff, and I think we can do a lot of good with the wildlife about this. And I will tell you another story that tells you how effective it works. We had fish. These were zebra fish, and I divided them. And this is when it was a dietary antioxidant. I divided them into 2 tanks, and you could mix NBMI with fish food, the kind you buy at Kmart, and shake it up. And so we bought the fish food, took half of it and mixed it with OSR, about a 50-50 mixture, not quite that, and shook it up, and you could see it because it's white and the fish food is kind of light yellow. And we would feed the fish in the 2 tanks the different kinds of food, because I want to see what OSR or NBMI, we called it OSR at that time, whether it would kill fish. Was it toxic to fish? And the fish ate it, and they seemed to like it. I mean, they cleaned it up anyway. And then after we did that for a couple of weeks, I thought, well, they're not going to die. So let's see what happens, how they're protected from mercury. So we calculate how much mercury to put in a tank with a syringe, and we put in the mercury. The fish in the non-treated tank that didn't get any NBMI were dead in 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, they didn't take the mercury very well at all. The fish in the NBMI tank didn't show any effect at all. So I think if you can load a fish up with NBMI, he probably is fairly non-susceptible to mercury toxicity. Again, something where we may want to do it because, you know, you say, well, you want to put a strange thing in your water supply. If all your frogs are dying because of mercury and sludge and other crap, you know, that we put in from our environment, would you like to give them a fighting chance to see if this could keep them alive so they can breed and we don't have to worry about them being wiped out by environmental toxins? This compound has a tremendous application in the environment, and it's a very positive one. And I think what we have to do is convince everybody that it's not going to cause cancer or anything like that. And we're well on our way to do that also. Because that's the first thing I always hear, is the possible negative side effects. Does this compound induce cancer? It doesn't. It may do the opposite, but it doesn't induce cancer. Anyway, we're very, very excited about this, especially the eagle thing. And if you, like I say, if you have any knowledge of anyone that's trying to save animals, that are dying because of heavy metal toxicity. I mean, ducks that eat lead in the ponds, etc. And if they want to try to see if they can save them, we'd be happy to work with them. And this is the rats.